Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
6:03 Thursday morning.
Hey, yo.
Oh, it was a bit chilly this morning. A little bit nipply, if I'm honest.
Yep, well, winter will do that too.
Yeah, it did. But then Nick was giving me crap in the hallway that I still had the legs out. But I said that my legs don't feel anything. I could, put gloves and beanies and all that on me, but if my legs are out, they're still fine.
Your legs radiate the hotness or something or other, I heard.
Yeah, that's what I said.
As I was walking.
I'm full of shit.
I was a small part of that conversation. Hey, Alicia, what happened with Diddy? So Diddy's been found guilty on 2 of 5 charges or something?
Yeah, the verdict is in. He's been he wasn't guilty of the major charge, which was the sex trafficking, but he's been found guilty of some other stuff, which I don't really understand, but we'll try and get someone on for it.
Let's get a reporter on. I want to have that broken down to me.
He was he was kind of moving paid women about for his parties, but he wasn't actually trafficking people without consent.
So is he going to do jail time?
Yes.
He's going to do jail time?
Yes, but maximum 20 years, but it won't be that.
Really?
But yeah, so he's dodgy, but not full dodgy.
I don't know how long he'll get. When are we doing that? I will track someone down. Sometime this morning.
Yeah, someone who knows stuff.
We have the
Not me.
the penultimate opportunity for Destination Unknown.
Penultimate's an interesting word, isn't it?
I love using it.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's the one before the one. The day before.
Yep.
Just before.
Second to last.
It's good that there's a word for that. Sorry, you were going to say today's...
Yeah, no, that's it. Second last opportunity for that. And also, we've got Tim Zoo on the show.
Pew, 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 pew. Who's a boxer.
Yeah.
He's not UFC. I've got to get that in my head.
No. He's a pugilist.
A what?
Boxer. I'm just using fancy words.
Good
like
morning, David
penultimate
Luttrell.
instead of second
Good morning.
last.
What's happening?
I just thought I'd get your attention.
Did you
You're
go to-
reading the paper.
Did you go to the Reds last night?
I did.
How big was that crowd? I heard Mitch say it was the biggest
45?
crowd since the last one.
Looked pretty chockers.
And we were in front at some stage.
Yeah, early on, look, my $19 I got for them was looking pretty good, but they just probably 20 or 30 minutes, but then the Lions just overrode them from that point forth.
Yeah. What was the margin at the end? 52-12. So it's at 40.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be right.
You know, I get the line. I get the line right.
I think I backed Queensland about plus 37.5.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
They just know.
How do they do it?
I don't know. We were talking about it last night. I think the official line was 29.5, but early on you were going, geez, we should have taken that.
Yeah.
But then boom, they just run out of good teams. I guess just keep rolling.
Yep. And so the Wallabies play Fiji before we play the Lions in a.
Is that right?
In a test match.
Yeah, this weekend they're playing.
Yes.
Yep.
So the Wallaby test, it's Suncorp's a couple of weeks away.
Couple of weeks. Yep.
And that's like, you cannot get a ticket for that.
Yeah, that'll be huge.
Crazy.
Was it packed last night?
It wasn't packed, but it was close to. There was still, you'd see spare seats, but it was pretty good.
Big.
Midweek.
Yeah.
I guess school holidays, so you had that, but there was a vibe.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
There's a huge boxing match coming up in a couple of weeks. This will be in Vegas. I cannot wait for this. Tim Zoo, our own Tim Zoo, who held the junior middleweight title for a little while there from 2023 up until last year. He's got a rematch for the WBC Super Welterweight world title up against Fundora. So it's Zoo v Fundora 2, a brutal fight the first time they went to it. And Tim is about to head off on the Big Bird to Vegas in preparation for this fight. And he joins us this morning from Sydney. How are you, Tim?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me.
Mate, we spoke to you, I think it was last year, before you went over for this Vegas fight. Like, how were you feeling this time around, given what transpired, and how has your camp been in preparation for this fight?
Yeah. Well, this time I actually get a preparation. Last time I was fighting Keith Thurman, and in the last 2 weeks or to a week, that's when the pullout happened, and I had Fundora, so I really had a week to get ready for him, and this time I actually I had like a 10-week prep, and I was able to work out things that actually work and some things that actually don't work, which is probably one of the main things. So yeah, it feels good to be refreshed.
How important is that? Like that you've obviously fitness and all that sort of business and getting
minutes, under your belt and yada yada in training. But how important? What percentage of it is actually your opponent and how you
Study
prepare
them.
for that?
Yeah, I think especially in boxing, everyone just thinks it's you just throw a few haymakers, but it's actually there's a lot more to do with it. There's creating game plans and creating things around it. So when I got someone that's six, I think he's 6'6" or 6'5" in front of me. So
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'10". So
Yeah, wow.
It's
Oh,
quite
man.
a reach.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to punch up like this. So it's a whole different game plan.
But that's got to
And he's
have
got
its
these-
advantages.
Yeah, and he's got these long arms that are like octopus legs.
Yeah.
So what happened last time you met up with this dude? I'm reading here. Were you blinded by your own blood? Did I read that correct?
Yeah. So basically, I was pretty much on the way to stopping him, and then I walked into his elbow, and it got me right on top of my head on the vein, and I had blood for 10 rounds, just like spurting into my eyes. So yeah, that wasn't fun. But I busted him up as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the first 2 rounds, he was pissing out blood through his nose and his mouth. So I just had it from the top of my head. So it was just like
UFC is
Yeah,
crazy.
That's not UFC.
This is boxing.
Boxing.
Oh, bloody boxing. Sorry. Wrong
we're a
sport.
bit nicer than UFC.
That's what it sounds like, UFC. How does your mum feel about all of this?
Yeah, she stopped watching. She's a bit traumatized.
I can't blame her. I would not be able to witness it. I'd be chucking the towel in every time. Be like, nah, get my baby out.
I mean, it's been Tim's dad was a true legend of boxing as well. Actually, speaking of legends of boxing, Manny Pacquiao as well.
Is he on the same card?
Yeah. I'm going to be fighting on the Manny Pacquiao card, which is,
Wow.
46 years of age. He's coming back and going for a world title. I think it would be remarkable if he wins it.
Now, what about weight? Like, where are you in terms of weight at the moment? Like, how many kilograms would you be right now, and then what do you have to be for weigh-in day? And you got any concerns around that?
No. This time around, I'm doing it real strict. Last time was actually, oh man, I went through hell and back to
Really?
Yeah, to make the weight. But I don't know, maybe it was from I got married last year, so
It's a lot of stress.
I went straight from a marriage, holidays, and all that straight to a boxing camp. So maybe I put on
Women
a
are
bit of
very
weight from
stressful,
there.
I've found, Tim. I mean, I'd steer away
Yes.
from it if you can, buddy, before a fight.
Lutzy's been doing that very well.
Do you abstain in the lead up to a fight?
Yes.
Well, there's a question.
That's a good question.
That's a whole big thing for the
Because
boxers.
I've had
I know-
athletes that have gone either way.
I think the
over
great Rocky
years.
Balboa, he had to abstain from the fight. I mean, are you
From
getting any
Adrian.
at the moment? Or, yeah, Adrian was
Hang
getting
on.
nothing.
Is that where the
So-
term fist biting comes from?
I don't know. No, but what
No,
you-
I'm alright.
Yeah, you're okay with that?
Just you don't put in too much work, you know.
You're just starfish.
Just be the taker, not the giver. Oh, this is going down a weird path, isn't it?
Oh, no, we love you, Tim. We
No,
love
we-
you, mate. And we'll be wishing you all the best. And I'm sure all of Australia is likewise. And all of Australia can watch it on KO Sports. You can get your first month for $1 and stream over 50 live sports, including Formula 1, AFL, NRL. That offer ends June 30.
This is going to be an absolute cracker.
But, this is on July 20, exclusive to main event on KO Sports and Foxtel. Go get him, champ. Bring
Yep.
back that
Guys.
belt.
Yeah.
Go knock
Yeah,
out
thank you.
Gumby.
We love you,
Cheers,
mate. The big goofy dork. Yeah.
The Ash, Lutzy and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Lutzy, you are notorious for not knowing where you're going on break, like days
Yes,
out.
I've done it again too.
You've done it again. Because the first time I met you was when I came in for a chemistry test here. And
Chemistry test.
yeah, that's what that doesn't sound right, does it?
No, did I met you one? I think we met once before that. You came in the studio, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, was that
Promoting
when you were going
something.
on? Yeah, I was flogging tickets.
Oh yeah, no, whatever. Yeah. So anyway,
But
I came in.
Yeah, and you
Did you
said,
come in?
I'm going to go to LA tomorrow, I think. I'm like, I beg your pardon? And you're like,
I
yeah, I'm
do.
just booking it now. Should I go to LA? I'm like, what?
Yeah. I do it a lot actually. Yeah.
And
so
now-
I've done it again. Well,
Yeah, so you go tomorrow night.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, tomorrow night I'll go to LA, but then fly. So I've got one thing I know I want to do. So I'm going to go to Eugene, which is in Oregon. which I don't even really know where it is. I think it's north.
I don't know where Oregon is.
Honestly, I think it's up
Feels north.
I think it's north of LA, up that way.
People wear coats. in
I've been there once
Oregon.
before, but I've flown there having no idea where it is. But because there's a track and field meeting on there.
Oh, so, okay.
It seemed like a long way to go to watch athletics.
Oh, is that
doesn't
where
it?
that hot Irish woman will be running?
Hope she's running. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sophie,
Yeah.
whatever her name is. But but Lockie Kennedy's running the 100.
Oh, that's why you're going.
Yeah, that's well. No, I'm just going because I just love athletics and Prefontaine. It's a boring athletic story, but Prefontaine was this famous runner that lived in Eugene, and it's where Nike sort of started, and he died tragically in a car crash in Eugene, and you can go there and see the rock where he died, and there's a shrine there where people put their Nikes. They call it Track Town. It's like it's an athletics.
Okay, so you're going to
It's
that.
Nike. It's where Phil Knight built a track, the Nike guy. So I'm going to that.
But
But
then what?
beyond that, I have absolutely no idea. All I've booked right now is a flight to Eugene and 3 nights accommodation.
That just blows my mind. Now, if
But
you...
he's a single guy. Like, it just illustrates that he's a single guy.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
you would've
the
done-
Well, I've
world's
travelled
your
alone a
oyster.
lot.
Yeah, you would have done things like that when you were single. Like, that's just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, if you were travelling with a family, or you'd have to be organised. Or
you couldn't do that with a partner.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Oh, no, I have done that. I've done what you're doing, I've done once, where I
You
was...
just took off.
Yeah, I was having lunch with Jeremy, and I said, I still haven't had a crack at LA yet. He said, well, I've got 2 weeks off. Go. I'm like, what? So we went to Flight Centre after lunch, booked my flight, and I was on a flight like the next morning. And I text my manager from the airport going, I'm going to LA for a few weeks, hook up meetings. She's like, it takes months to organise meetings. I'm like, it's all right, I got it. I'll just go to EPLP or whatever it is. I'll find one there. And I did.
There you go. And you can do that.
And that was what I didn't know where I was going to stay.
And sometimes the best things do happen.
Yeah, I
this
met
way,
this
by the way.
Chinese guy
Yeah.
on my flight, and then he said, I'll take you around LA. And I was like, all right. So I just went and got in a stranger's car
Oh,
at
my
LA.
goodness.
I didn't have a SIM card. I didn't even have an Airbnb app. I just got in his car with my suitcase and just went. It's a miracle I'm alive.
Yeah, that is a miracle you're alive.
And then I walked Venice Beach and met some people. And then I went and stayed at their joint. And then it's wild when you travel
You've
like
just got to
that.
be prepared to travel.
Die. Oh, yes.
Die, and also travel on the edge a little bit. But what the benefit is, I'm in Eugene, and something cool happens, and it's like, you should come here for 3 nights. We're doing this. Like the Calgary Stampede is an option for me in Canada right now, which is this huge
But that's it.
Big
You got so many.
festival.
You got so many options
Yeah.
because you could sit there and go, yeah. He goes the Calgary Stampede, and I'm like, well, the cricket's on too down in the West Indies.
And then
you could go down to
Barbados.
Barbados.
I go to Barbados for cricket, and then
Yeah.
someone said to me last night.
And you usually end up on a super yacht too, I've noticed.
Yeah, things can happen,
Yeah, you're
But
good
someone
at
said to me last night, "Do you want to hang with Hugh Jackman?" I'm like, "Not really, to be honest. But if I did, what? Gets out. He's going to be watching Origin here, State of Origin next week.
Where?
In New York or something
Oh.
or other, without going into too many details where he's going to be. But I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's an option, I guess. I could go watch Origin with Hugh Jackman.
But have you booked your return flight? Because
No.
going to America
No, I haven't.
at the moment, with all the deportations,
Yeah, I know I haven't. But I've got having said that, I've got a visa.
Why wouldn't you want to watch Origin with Hugh Jackman?
Oh, I don't not want to. I'm just like, the initial line was, do you want to go hang with Hugh Jackman? I'm like, well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. What are we going to do?
hey, Lutzy, do you want to swap? You can go to Fiji and I'll go hang with Hugh Jackman.
Well, the good thing with Hugh Jackman is nothing against Hugh Jackman, that he might be hanging with, who's his best mate now? Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds.
So, I mean, I'd rather hang with Ryan Reynolds, to be honest with you.
And then they can welcome you to Wrexham.
More age appropriate.
The Ash, Lutzy and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Online Osborne.
Okay, normally I talk about things trending online, but I thought I'd take a slight pivot
Oh, yeah, online Osborne.
and
sorry.
talk about...
sorry, make it what
I
you were
saw
doing.
you're like a deer in
Looking at
headlights.
the board going, what is she talking about?
What is she
It's
talking
online
about?
Osborne.
Oh, just follow my lead.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Got it.
I want to pivot into online dating today.
Okay.
And talk about some online dating disasters because it's a nasty world out there, online dating. Are you on the apps at all? Have you been on the apps?
I have been on occasions.
Do they do your head in? Is there a lot of stupidity?
I don't really get that engaged that much in it, but I can see how they could, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they've also been
A lot of time
successful.
wasting, I think. Yeah.
Well, lots of people have found.
Well, I mean, statistically now, I think it's on.
It's the way that
I'm making
the way-
stuff
the
up.
way
It's
that
like
it happens.
70,
No, it's like
75%.
70%.
Yeah.
And uni
I
is
heard
only
83.
1% now. So
yeah, go on.
76 of percent of statistics are made up on the spot.
Yes.
Yes, okay, but it can have he can bring out predatory behaviour.
Of course.
And it can also flush out the Muppets. So I've found some online dating disasters that I thought I would share with the group. The first one is this chick. She's gone back to his place because he's offered to cook for her, which sounds really nice.
It's a nice first date, but you need it to be not at a private house.
It's always
I think,
dangerous
right?
going into a house, isn't it? Especially when this happens.
So this guy invited me over for dinner at his place.
She's crying.
And I got there and I got excited. I'm like, what are you making? Because I haven't eaten all day. And he said sausages. And I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty good. And he whipped out his wiener. It slapped on a plate.
Did you hear that?
What was the
Did
last?
she start laughing
I
at the
heard
end?
sausages.
Crying, laughing because she was so shocked. Yeah, he said, I'm going to cook dinner for you. She's like, I haven't eaten all day. That's so nice, because she was just hungry.
Yeah.
And then they got there and she's like, well, so what are you cooking? Your sausages. And she goes, oh, that's all right. And then he just dropped trowel, whipped out his wiener and popped it on a plate.
Well, you got all that from that speech there.
How did you
Did
hear
she
that?
say that?
Mitch heard it as
I didn't
well.
hear the
Let me
plate.
listen to that again. I didn't.
So this guy invited me over for dinner at his place. And I got there and I got excited. I'm like, what are you making? Because I haven't eaten all day. And he said sausages. And I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty good. And he whipped out his wiener. It slapped on a plate.
Slapped it on a plate.
Slapped it on a
He
plate.
slapped it on a plate.
She picked her winner there. She didn't say how she got out of that
She
situation.
could have grabbed a fork and just gone bang.
Or put some chili sauce on it. That'll learn him. Anyway, so it's let's
But
see.
she sounded like
She laughed.
almost enjoyed
Well,
it.
she got out of there
was
alive.
laughing,
Well, she appreciates it's a good story, hey?
She lived to tell it. Exactly.
Yeah, she lived to tell the tale. Meanwhile,
Sausage.
the guys are getting angry
I'm trying
because
that tonight.
Try it tonight on Jade.
We're having
Sausages. Yeah. Dad, no, not you. Wait. How'd you get back in your room? Mum and I are having a dinner for two.
Oh no!
Oh, is Sonny Bill locked up?
Okay, moving on. They say chivalry is dead, and this guy is getting very, very cranky because he's still being traditional with a date. So he's dropped her off. He's gone for the kiss. She's kind of said no. And then she's just closed the door, and this is then what happens.
Sure you don't want me to come inside for a drink?
I'm just kind of tired. Maybe next time?
Tired. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Next time.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.
Thanks.
Bye.
This is all captured on her cam.
Oh, and thanks for paying for dinner, by the way. Oh, but you can't come inside. Why not? Why can't you come inside? Oh, because you were nice to me all night. Ridiculous.
Poor guy. And there's so many of
So
those.
you're saying because he was so nice?
Because he was nice.
That's,
And that's happening with my friend at the moment. This guy's so nice, it's putting her off.
I do.
Yeah, you gotta
I know.
find the balance. A
Your
bit of,
female friend or your male friend?
yeah, my female friend.
I know her.
Yeah, yes, you do. A bit of light and shade, guys. A bit of light and shade.
Yeah,
Treat them
come
in,
on,
keep them
guys.
king, but do open the doors.
Yeah.
Now, finally, this is my favourite one. So, I think she explains all of it. Here we
Tell you
go.
about a date I recently went on. I went out with a guy who had recently come out of a relationship, and so I was like the third or fourth first date that he'd been on from the internet. And as we're talking, he's like, I'm really impressed with women nowadays and how open they are about everything. And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, like how open they are about their diseases and their, what they're dealing with. And I was like, okay. And he said sometimes they like even put it in their profile. And I'm thinking like ADHD, neurodivergence. And he was like, I've been on 2 dates with women who have cancer. And I looked at him and I said, that's their star sign. Those women don't have cancer. They were born in July.
They were born in July.
It's like I saw a guy's profile Tinder once and he had a V on it. And I said, please tell me you're not a vegan. And he's like, no, I'm a virgin. I got that wrong. I got the joke wrong.
You're supposed to get
I stuffed my own joke.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
For the first time ever, the footy is free on 7 Plus. Stop paying, start watching.
Lucky Neil, Lucky Neil, Lucky Neil, Lucky Neil.
Yeah, Lions in action against the Power. This is a home match. It's at the Gabba, bounce down, 7:30. And the great man, Lockie Neal, joins us this morning with his coffee in hand.
Yeah, nice and early.
And his pegs on show.
Yeah, he's got his sexy legs out too. I
It's
tell
not
you,
that
it's a
cold.
thing. It's a Queensland look.
I'm a Queenslander now, so
Yeah.
He's got his Cuban pluggers on.
Yeah, I've got the legs out. Oh, the other day was freezing in the morning though, so I didn't. But today I do. I've braved the cold weather here in Brisbane, which isn't actually that cold.
You are a true Queenslander too, because he does. He's got these thongs on as well. He's got boardies and thongs on. Come on, it doesn't get any more Queenslander than
I got
that.
dressed in the dark, so you can probably tell.
Our world.
Hey, can I raise something that you guys didn't see? You were out of the room when Lockie arrived. Well, yesterday we were talking about ways that people express love and whether you're a huggers and say I love yous, and we said that Nikki doesn't hug people and has never hugged guests or anything like that.
Did she jump up and hug Lockie?
Absolutely, she did.
What the hell?
Yep.
I've seen it so many
What
times.
the hell?
Oh, you're special, Lockie.
Well, you probably I got in trouble for hugging a presenter.
Oh, that's
a
right. That
couple
did
of
happen.
years
That
ago.
was
That
ridiculous.
Really?
a couple of
That was
years ago.
ridiculous, actually. I forgot about that.
So what
He
did you
just hugged
have
her at the end of an interview, which was just a nice.
A friend of mine,
Friend.
Abby,
What?
who I know well.
Well,
Everyone jumped on it.
who'd you get in trouble from?
The
press.
The
Someone.
faceless,
Yeah.
the faceless
Oh,
people.
that's stupid.
Yeah, it was
It was
ridiculous.
in the
It was one of
media.
those storm in a teacup type things.
It's
And it was-
ridiculous.
and you knew the like it's
Yeah,
actually
so
a
it's
friend.
friend.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
friends.
That was
so,
stupid.
yeah, apologies if that wasn't.
Oh, I feel completely violated.
Jump on that.
I
This
think it
is
was
great.
nice because he walked in and we kind of looked at each other and he was going to go sit on his seat and then he came over and he gave me, the side hug and I was like, oh, that's nice.
But you're not a hugger usually.
Not normally, but
Yeah.
if you initiate it, I'm
No,
cool.
Yeah.
but she literally yesterday said if Patrick Carrigan comes in, she doesn't hug him.
No, I haven't hugged
So
him.
you've drawn the line with Carrigan.
Do you reckon though that through COVID that
He'd crush
like
me.
handshakes went out the window in COVID and that
Fist
like,
bumps.
fist
Yeah.
pumps now have taken over more than shaking hands? Like, do you fist pump at all, or do you sort
Not
of
really.
shake hands? Yeah.
I only do game day because everyone puts Grippo on their hands to make their hands real sticky so they don't fumble, apparently. But I hate having that on my hands.
Yeah.
So I either go one finger, like literally one finger.
What do you
or
mean one finger?
You
like
finger your
that.
teammates.
He just tapped my finger. I pointed.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that the way
cool.
you shake hands
Some
with-
guys will be like that, and I'll try and give them a fist bump because I don't want.
Can we
the-
make that our thing from now? To
Yeah.
go 1, 2, 3.
Does that feel weird?
Every time now we meet, we do a 1, 2, 3.
1, 2,
Hey,
3.
right,
All right.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
But
3.
yeah, that's
the geekiest handshake I've ever
No,
seen.
it's good. It's ours. We're the only people that do it. Now, why do you always play well against Port Adelaide?
Well, don't jinx me. So,
I know, but I mean, yeah, historically, you play well against Port Adelaide.
well, I used to barrack for Port
Yeah.
growing up, so I
And,
like playing against them.
I'm not finished yet.
Yeah.
And when you're in the draft, they didn't interview you.
Yeah, they
Is that
didn't
true?
interview me.
That's
yeah.
what I heard. They didn't interview
He's
him
got
when he
good-
was in the
got
draft.
good mail,
Yeah,
doesn't
and,
he?
and he's always had a bit of a beef with Port Adelaide.
Really?
And he's like, he averages like, I'm making stuff up now, but I'm saying 29 disposals or something against them. Like he digs in
Really?
against Port
Oh.
because when he was a young fella, Nikki,
You carry
he
those
kind of wanted to
grudges.
play for him.
Yeah.
And they didn't even interview him
That's
before his
outrageous.
draft. They said no.
You
I was a
smash 'em.
South Australian boy, so it was a little bit disappointing, but that was 14 years ago. So,
No.
grudges.
We hold resentment. Resentments are real.
That's what we do up here.
You're meant to bring this up after the game rather than before. But no, I do look forward to playing Port. I've got a couple of mates that work there now who I got drafted with, and I know a couple of the players, so it's always good fun. And yeah, they've been a really good team as well, so it's always nice to beat them.
Yeah. You expect. I know I'm not jinxing you. I'm just saying, like,
come out
well,
now.
I look at the betting and like, you're fighting for top 2 here. This is a time of the season now where you can actually cement top 2, which it's the same as league. Top 2 is a very important spot if
Well,
you're
you
going to
get that
go
home final,
go
yeah.
well, two.
Yeah, top 2's important.
We're
top
talking
4's
about things
important,
we
but
shouldn't be
I
talking
know.
about.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I
Like,
know,
I
it
don't
is.
know.
This is uncomfortable.
Nah, it's all good.
Fair play, fair
I
play.
think our run home's going to be really good to test where we actually are, because I think we play, other than maybe Carlton next week, who are sitting 10th or 11th, but I still rate them pretty highly. Their list and everything, they're just sort of battling a little bit at the moment, but they can turn it around. Our last 8 games, 7 of them are against like top 9 teams.
Right. Okay.
So
So
it's
you're
going to
gonna
be a
step
challenging
up.
run home, but we'll see where we're at, which I think is a good thing heading into finals. It'll be a good test for us, and this week, Port sort of need a win in a way to keep their season
Big game for
ticking
them.
along and trying to make finals. So big game for them, big game for us because there's I think there's 4 or 5 teams, if you include Gold Coast, who've got a game in hand. They're on 40 points on the ladder, and we're on 42, so only half a game ahead of about 4 or 5 teams. So
you could throw a blanket over
that's
everyone.
tight. Yeah.
Yeah, nice said. Okay, well, round 17. I can't believe how quick
That's
this
what I'm
is.
saying. It's round
crazy.
It's unbelievable. When
You
you think
annoying
of it.
Jules yet?
Yeah, I'm in the spare room now, so that's that time of year. I get on her nerves.
Why?
so-
No, explain this dynamic to me. So you're in the spare room.
No,
Why?
I'm not actually. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Well,
She
I'd
doesn't
like to
kick
know
me out.
everything.
Well, to be honest, I might go in the spare room on Friday night because the kids have been waking up a little bit too often for my liking.
Can't
so
have that.
get a good sleep in
Yeah.
on Friday night, so I can sleep in Saturday morning. But no, I'm in the main bedroom.
Okay.
You be well rested,
But
mate.
if your missus is too hot, that would be very distracting
What do
in
you
the
mean
lead
too
up
hot?
to it.
Oh, you're too hot.
You know, you got to
yeah,
get
that's-
your shut eye.
That's actually the reason why I go Friday night. though.
Jules, I can't.
Yeah.
You're too hot.
Too attractive.
I need to be able to sleep.
How am I expected to sleep?
I
Next
actually,
thing
when
you-
you first said that, I thought you meant body temperature, and I was like, no, that's me. I'm the hot sleeper.
He runs hot, not her. Yeah.
All right, Lions and the Power at the Gabba, Saturday 7:35, and the footy is live and free on 7 and 7+. Stop paying and start watching. Go get them, Lockie.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks, guys.
Lockie Neal.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
The internet's ruined me. That's just full stop. That's it. That's my statement.
What's wrong?
All right, let's go to the news. We'll be back in a moment.
A video popped up because you know how Sex and the City there was a bit of a bust up with the gang where Kim Cattrall wasn't in the recent movie and Ned kind of everyone.
Well, they had 3 seasons of that show now, and so she's been missing for even longer.
She's been gone for a while, and there's never been any official confirmation. Or, it's all rumors until the other day I saw this interview, and this is Kim Cattrall talking about it.
It feels like a toxic relationship.
Well, they're all basically blaming you for ruining everybody's fun. There can't be any more Sex in the City
Make your own
because you
fun.
have killed Samantha.
I haven't killed Samantha. I have released Samantha. I just wish that Sarah had been nicer.
I mean, you can hear the murmuring because we've all heard rumours that you didn't get on, and now we've heard it from the horse's mouth.
Well,
or one of the horses, for want of a better phrase.
I'm
And people
talking-
quite saddened, I think, probably, that actually...
Well, this is the irony of it, that this is where we are in the reality of it, and that was the fantasy of it. But this is the reality of it. I'm being incredibly honest about them.
Is that Piers Morgan?
Yeah, and I think he was calling Sarah Jessica Parker a horse lookalike. I think he was doing it in
he was heading that way.
He tried to backpedal out of that.
Yeah, it was like, but
After our meeting, I'm not
that
saying
just broke my heart. And, the fact that came out and that there's obviously a grudge there.
By the way, does Piers Morgan have some sort of show where there's a bunch of women in an audience?
It seems
What happened
to
to
be
Piers
the way.
Morgan? That's what I want to know.
Seriously, is that
I
his
know.
show now?
Well, they're probably protesters, and then he said, "I'll come down, sit down, I'll give you a free cup of tea."
I'm
And
going to find what his
listen to
bloody
this.
show is. So
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting. So is Sarah Jessica, whatever her name is, fired back?
No, she has not. But it got me thinking about some tarnished relationships that I've had in the past and grudges that have brewed, and also some of my friends as well. And most of them have happened over items of clothing that we've loaned one another and then never returned. Now, this is a real thing in the female world.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a dude.
It's not, no. Have you ever had anyone steal your hat or something, the prized possession, and they've never given it back?
Try being a twin brother. Yes. The short answer to that, yeah, as an identical twin. Like, you just, like...
Your kids do it.
You kind of don't even own anything. Yeah, my kids do it to me now. I got a pair of shoes for Christmas. I come out the other day. Archie's wearing them. He's 13. He's size 12 already.
Weren't they wearing your undies at one point?
No, I get their undies put in my drawer, but I refuse to wear them.
But you've never had a bust up over something that's kind of, you've loaned someone, they haven't brought it back, and you've gone,
No,
and
not
they've
to the
avoided
level
you?
you're talking about.
No.
It just doesn't happen.
Okay, this happens in the women's world. Like, for example, I had a friend, I loaned her my pencil skirt, And because she got a
Let's
journal.
all just pretend we know what a pencil skirt is. by the
Okay,
way.
so
Yeah.
she became a journo. She
Yeah.
pivoted, became a journo, and so can I borrow that pencil skirt of yours and that top? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And
Is
then
that
anyway,
what a journo I'd wear to court or something?
yeah, pretty much.
Right,
and then she
okay.
put it on. She sent me a photo. She said, "This looks really good. Thank you so much." And I said, "No problems. Next time we catch up, just bring
give
it
it
with
back."
you." Then she started avoiding every catch up. And then it got to the point where
Stole
I went,
it.
"Are you going to give me my skirt back or
What the
not?" She
hell?
said, "You don't need it, and I need
tight,
it
Mum.
more." And I'm like, "Oh my God!" She just believes she should take it. And I saw it happen with my niece. They were fighting over at Top, who belonged to the Top. And people have this happened to my husband too over at a DJ deck. So someone borrowed the other half of his DJ deck. And then he kind of had lots of parties and it kind of became his thing and he was making money and he just thought he didn't owe it to bring it back ever. And they had a blow up over that. So I want to know if anyone else has had a blow up. Has someone taken something of yours and never given it back and it's causing tension? It could be a mower that you've loaned to someone. It could be anything. 13, 24,
Yeah,
10.
good point.
Has someone got something of yours?
I took some triathlon aero bars off Simon Dorwood when I was 18, and I think he still resents the fact I never gave them back.
Yeah, he probably does. Cool. What's his
Like
name?
that was going to make a difference for you too, by the way.
I don't care,
I'm
Simon.
just one pair of aero bars away from
But I know Buzz is cranky about someone who stole his
cracking
thunder.
the top 700
Mate, I
at Noosa.
finished 6th of the junior duathlon state titles that year. I'll have you know, and a Repco Traveller, but never mind.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He does.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Jane from Aspley. Jane, you
Hello.
I'm good. Tell us what happened.
No, I taught my daughters rules about lending and borrowing when they were quite little, 5 in fact.
Okay, what have you told them?
I taught them that when somebody asks to borrow something, you look at it and you say, am I prepared to give this to this person? And if you're not prepared to give it, you don't lend it because lending is a give.
That's very interesting advice that you've obviously been burned a few times.
I have at times, but I came up with that rule before I had children because I was burned. I loaned a beautiful knitting book to someone that I never got back, but I thought that's my bad.
That's outrageous.
It's not their bad, it's my bad. I should not have loaned it if I wasn't prepared to never get it back.
What's the old saying? If you loan someone $20 and you never see him again, it's $20 well spent.
Something like that, yes.
The bit that makes me irate is that when this happens, and I say this to Jane and also to the next caller, who I believe is
Rhonda will be chatting to her.
Is that people presume you've forgotten about it. You know, they go, oh, he's forgotten about this, so I won't have to give it back. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you haven't. We don't forget. If you lend money,
money's a big
whatever
one
it
too.
is, and the people
Yeah.
just go, oh, I think they've forgotten about this. I think, you know, like
It'll come out the wash.
yeah. So they think A, they've ripped you off, and secondly, they think you're that stupid.
Yeah.
That you've forgotten. So it's a double whammy.
It is a double
Now
whammy.
you're making me angry.
Yeah, good.
On a Thursday.
Which you sort of are stupid because you shouldn't have loaned it if you weren't prepared to give it.
No, but like the people take advantage of generous
don't call me stupid,
spirits.
Jane.
No,
You
you're
learn- you
generous.
learned this,
You're
Jane.
generous, Lutzi. You're not. Well, you're a bit stupid.
All right, Rhonda out of the sunny coast. What do you got, Rhonda? What happened to you?
What happened to me, I worked in an office and a lady took my husband and never brought him back.
Jesus, Mary and
Oh
Joseph.
my, that's worse than a knitting book.
You what?
But she ended up doing me a favour.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
well, obviously, because he's a prick.
So what did he do? She did what? What?
So
Well,
what?
let
Someone
her
who
explain
worked with your
Rhonda, you explain it.
Yeah, Rhonda, you
I
tell
worked-
me.
What's happening to you?
My husband and I had a business,
Yeah.
and in the office was a female, and she took my husband. She took my husband and never brought him back. And I thought,
That smelly mold.
It's just like a dress. She's like, no, he looks better on me.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
And now she's miserable with him, probably.
Yes.
Hey?
Yeah.
absolutely, she did me a favour.
Yeah.
She did me a favour.
Every man
Bullet
gets
dodged.
the woman he deserves.
Bullet dodged.
Love you guys.
Love you.
We love you
Goodbye.
more, Rhonda. Enjoy a sunny day on the Sunshine Coast. I'll see you later.
Oh, I will. Bye.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Well, the big news is this morning we've been hearing it in the news every half hour that Diddy has been acquitted on the most serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking as his verdict was handed down in New York this morning. So what it means and whether or not he will serve jail time. We'll find out now. We're going to cross to the US. Miley Hogan is the 7 News US correspondent. She joins us right now. Good morning, Miley. Does Diddy get released from here, or is he still facing jail time? Can you let us know what's going on?
Well, we've just heard from a bail hearing that he's going to stay behind bars until his sentencing that will be scheduled for a later date. But to break this down, as you mentioned, he's been cleared of the most serious charges, which includes racketeering and conspiracy and sex trafficking. Now, that racketeering conspiracy charge carried life in prison. So he's been acquitted of that, of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, those charges still carry 10 years, a maximum of 10 years behind bars if that's the maximum that he receives. So he could still be looking at up to 20 years behind bars. We'll have to wait until the sentencing hearing to hear the arguments that both sides will put forward. But we have seen a letter from the prosecution put forward saying that they'd be looking at around 5 years, but that still could go up. We won't get that detail until the sentencing date.
So Diddy's team applied immediately for bail, but that was rejected. When will the sentencing be handed down?
So we don't have a firm date on the sentencing. There was a chat that it was going to be October 3rd, but the defence is looking to bring that date forward. But he has been refused bail, and the reason for that is his violent behaviour. What's interesting is it was a key strategy by the defence during this trial to own the fact that Sean Diddy Combs had been violent towards his former girlfriend, physically violent. But they were saying that he was not on trial for domestic abuse. He was on trial for those more serious charges. But that's come back to bite them in this bail hearing because the judge has acknowledged his violent behaviour, saying that the defence has admitted to it, saying it happened, and that violence shows a disregard for the rule of law. So he will not be getting out of prison today, and he has been in custody for around 10 months now.
Yeah, I think it was September last year. And in a pretty hardcore facility in Brooklyn is where he's been kept there. I guess that time served will come under consideration by the judge when his ultimate sentencing does come down. But what were the scenes like outside the courthouse today? I heard there were supporters of Diddy that were spraying baby oil and all the rest of it.
What?
Out on the streets. Was there a big crowd out there, or how was it received?
I've been at that trial and in that courtroom previously, and there's always a crowd out the front. There's supporters there, there's family members that come in and out. Today there has been reporting that there has been supporters outside that courtroom, yes, throwing baby oil on themselves in support of Sean Diddy Combs. His mother blew kisses to the cameras as she left the courtroom. His children have been there as well. So there has been a crowd of supporters outside that courtroom and those against him as well.
It's not good when your supporters are incriminating you further by their behaviour like that. They are not the cheer squad you want. You want, the church folk to come and go, no, he's good. He's an upstanding citizen.
Keep it calm, at this point.
But so Miley, he's off the more serious charges. He's been acquitted of those. He's still in trouble for, the only way he can put it is hookers and blow. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Can I say that? No, I don't know.
Whatever.
But I guess the big question is, are we allowed to listen to his music again, or is he still really dodgy?
I mean, that's going to come down to personal opinion, what people want to do. I think you can go on Instagram and look at 50 Cent and what he's been putting out there throughout this trial. His longtime rival, 50 Cent, has been very vocal about this. What will Diddy's reputation be in the music industry now? I think that it's certainly tarnished, if not very heavily tarnished. He came out after Cassie Ventura went public with the claims of domestic violence, his former girlfriend, in that civil suit. And Sean Combs said, no, I've never done any of that. And then the video surfaced of him very clearly dragging her and kicking her. So we've seen him publicly lie about his behaviour before. I think his reputation as a stand-up guy is definitely gone.
Oh, yeah. That was damning evidence, that video, wasn't it?
It was not
in
good.
The court of public opinion. I know it was on trial for that.
But that aside, it just seems like, I know they're saying 20 years and that's the maximum sentence, but you just get the feeling that it's going to be one of those kind of like, he's already served the amount of time he's been incarcerated. Is there a feeling, Miley, that it's like, he ain't going to do much time here?
Is he going to be in an ankle bracelet on Dancing with the Stars?
I think the fact that the judge denied him bail today perhaps gives
Yeah,
an
good point.
indication of how the judge is feeling about whether or not he'll go to jail. It could suggest that he thinks a custodial sentence is likely. Otherwise, we may have seen him walk free today on bail, and that's not what's happened.
Okay.
And he'd be relieved in some regard because he's been spared life behind bars, which he was initially facing. But there you go. He's been acquitted on the most serious charges, but still found guilty on 2, and he has to await sentencing. Thanks for bringing us up to date with that, Miley. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Miley Hogan there, the 7 News US correspondent.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.